Welcome to That 80s Show, and if you're living particularly in Johannesburg in South Africa, I think you needed a song that chilled. Dori, what do you think?
Yeah, so chilled. A song that I, for the longest time, thought was from the 90s, but it isn't.
It was, we have a little saying here on That 80s Show, Cuspers, songs that sit right on the border of the late 70s or late 80s. And I think, because it was a bigger hit in the 80s and the 90s then probably was in the 80s because it only came out 1989. And you know what, Dori, I got to tell you, it's been a crazy week, but kind of as we sat down and clicked go on That 80s Show, I had a sense of calm just rushing through me. I found a cool thing, Dori. I always find cool things, but so everyone's going back to the 80s for a whole bunch of stuff. And Renault, the car brand Renault, right? They iconically in the 80s, everyone drove a Renault 5. Remember those tiny little cars?
Yeah.
My aunt had one, and I think it only came in this color. It was like this weird yellowish color with a black accent. Do you remember? It wasn't yellow, it was like off yellow. That
sounds vaguely. Yeah. I know exactly which color you mean.
They were all over, and I'm sure it only came in this color. So as a part of the 50-year release, so obviously the car came out in the 70s, but so many people in South Africa in the 80s had it. They've decided to revive another icon with the Renault 5. So now they've released a cassette player, influenced by the Renault 5. So we'll post these pictures up on That 80s Show SA Facebook page. It's an actual cassette player, colored like that Renault 5, metallic yellow body, black striped grip, a red tinted window. So like the red tinted window looks like the headlights, Of course, it's got the cool new things, like a Bluetooth and a built-in mic. But it also comes with a cassette that you can rewind with a pencil.
Oh, no way.
It's also very retro. It has buttons, has actual physical buttons for a music player these days. What is that? But yes, of course. So you can rewind your tape cassette. And we forget about that, right? With your pencil.
I mean, seriously, of all the technology of the last 100 years, cassette tapes are probably one of the worst. Let's be honest. They were just so fragile.
So cassette tapes was my first, when I started getting music, I got on cassettes. So there were vinyls around, but my music, I bought cassettes, right?
Yeah.
For 3 years till CDs started getting round everywhere, right? And I don't know, I suppose if that's your reference, you've got an affinity to cassettes, right? I do, but they were pains. Oh my God, were we?
I mean, and in retro, the amount of times I spent with a pencil, and never mind that, trying to sticky tape the broken bits of tape together when it snapped.
That's when that's when it was salvageable, right? Where you could actually tape it together. But sometimes when that spool came out, and that's, you know what? That's something I miss, driving along the road and you just see a tape lying strewn across the road. Its guts all lying out, and you think, what was that? What songs were on there? The story that cassette would tell. I miss seeing that and wondering, what moment did a couple have a fight over their mixtape? It's like, Yanni, it's enough, I hate you. Out of the Renault 5's window, out of the window of the Ford Escort, just strewn their love on the side of the road. Why did you need a pencil to rewind it?
If the tape had come out, right, and was free from its casing, you couldn't put it into the tape player. You had to get the tape back onto the spool. And you could either use your pinky finger, and I often did use my pinky finger, but sometimes a pencil just worked better, and you could kind of maneuver it much faster and just twirl it around much quicker.
I found that now, you got to remember, piracy wasn't a thing, because you'd buy the original cassette and make 1 billion copies, just recorded off cheap ones. But did you find it to happen more when you bought so it very seldom happened on the original release, right? The original copy happened less.
No. This was definitely
the cheap
on the blank tapes, they called them.
The Clicks
Blank
brand.
tapes.
And the
Yes.
Clicks brand, we're not even talking TDK. Yo, if you had a TDK 90, if you showed up with a TDK 90, were you just like, you're Elon Musk if you had a TDK 90?
And I remember, do you remember BASF?
Oh, God, that was the stuff. BASF and TDK 90. Like you were, like nowadays, like you put your iPhone 13 Pro Max and people are like, oh, this guy's tech. Look at his Apple Watch 7. No, then it was like, this guy, BAS. Wow, that's the stuff right there. Why did we leave the 80s, Dory? Why did we leave the 80s?
After only having 60 tapes, and then you get a 90 tape, and it's like, whoa, this is so cool. I don't have to, I've got much longer before I have to turn it over to the other side.
And exactly, double play. But there was something else with the tape that you could do, because it didn't, if you put the tape, obviously like you had to put like a little sliver to connect it, right? But there was something you could do that if you left it longer, it like did like this weird little remix thing. Or was that a fever dream? Too much,
definitely a fever dream.
Eating too much King Rat from the tuck shop. Like I imagined that.
What are you going on about?
Oh, Dory, listen, a story we've been holding over for weeks and weeks and weeks. We've got to talk about it. Weird Al Yankovic, one of my favorite people from the 80s, did parody songs like he's always done. He still does now. He's still releasing parody songs now. But the 80s was his absolute heyday. Where and because there was just better music as Michael Jackson and Madonna, but he is never allowed to parody a Prince song, right? He would normally look for permission, try to approach people through record companies. Can I get permission? And most people loved it. Like Michael Jackson loved that he parodied his songs, thought it was great. Madonna. There is a story she even contributed to, Like a Surgeon. She did something on Like a Surgeon. That's how much she like was supportive of it, right? So it kind of like became like a rite of passage in the 80s that if Weird Al Yankovic like chose your song, it's like having your song in a TikTok dance or in Stranger Things now. That's like the ultimate cultural thing if if Weird Al, right, took your song. But notoriously, Prince hated Weird Al Yankovic. Okay? Said, you'll never parody one of my songs. Okay, and he wanted to because Prince... It was massive. Purple Rain, Dove's Cry, like Let's Go Crazy. It's so, imagine what Weird Al Yankovic would have had fun with Prince's songs. But to the point that at an award show, right, Weird Al Yankovic got a letter from a lawyer saying, you guys are both going to be at this award show. I think it was the Grammys. You're going to be sitting in the same row. You are not to look in Prince's direction. If you do, we'll take legal action against you.
It's so funny.
That's how much.
Don't even look at him.
He was not even allowed looking in his direction, not even at him, in his direction.
In retrospect, we are discovering that Prince was a very serious dude. Very serious.
If you've seen that picture of him roller skating in hot pants and a Batman t-shirt, I don't know. But he was very serious about that, though. He was actually serious about that. So it all computes. Now, why we're talking about Weird Al Yankovic is he's got a biopic coming out soon. Very weird. Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, is playing Weird Al Yankovic. Now, you can never get it right. Like the guy who's playing Elvis now in the new Elvis movie, he looks like a version of Elvis. Super good looking guy. He's better looking than Elvis, if you ask me. But Weird Al Yankovic being played by Harry Potter, he's too short. I'm a short guy. So this is not a shortism. Don't you think that? Because Weird Al Yankovic is tall and lanky, and like Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe is small, right? Short guy. And he's trying to thirst trap and put out Weird Al Yankovic as a sex symbol vibes. Have you noticed that?
I haven't. But I haven't paid a lot of attention to this particular thing.
I have. Because you know me and Weird Al Yankovic. So pretty much every trailer that's come out has got him without his shirt on, right? Which I was like, did Weird Al Yankovic, and if Weird Al Yankovic is taking his shirt off, like you didn't want to see it, like it's only for comedic effect, like Will Ferrell. Naked Will Ferrell, like that's not sexy. That's just, it's funny, it's gross, but just not sexy. But it's like, why are you trying to thirst trap Weird Al Yankovic and Harry Potter? You're trying to sexualize Harry Potter at the same time. I'm not down with that, okay? But what I want to get into, Dori, is the amount of people playing Madonna these days.
Okay.
Because Madonna's not even playing Madonna anymore. Who did she kiss last week? She French kissed someone last week.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a performance, and one of the Doja Cats or the Dua Lipas there's another one, Bella the Ball. I don't know, one of these new young songstresses, because she French kissed Britney Spears in the 90s, didn't she? Christina Aguilera, right? So she's just doing it. We love Madonna.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up to see.
It was a weird one. It's a weird name.
Takisha.
Oh, is it that one?
Is that how you say it?
I don't know. It's like there's somebody called Helen the Stallion. There's a stallion person. I don't know.
It's Megan the Stallion.
Megan the Stallion.
No, it says here, Madonna smooches rapper Takisha during steamy performance.
Okay, so not Megan the Stallion. Because is Megan the Stallion,
Takisha, whoever that is.
I don't know who that is. Is Megan the Stallion not linked to Wild Stallions from Bill and Ted? You're not the same.
Don't think so. Megan the Stallion was in the WAP video. You know WAP?
I know Wham.
I'm not going to tell you what WAP stands for if you don't know already.
I think I know. I know. Yes.
What's her face? I can't think of her name.
Well, are they from the 80s?
No. Which is why I can't think of her name.
Irrelevant. Forget them. So, because Madonna's not even playing Madonna anymore, or Madonna is playing
Cardi B. Cardi B. That's who it is.
Okay. Cardi B, right.
So it was Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion who did WAP.
Okay. But neither of them kissed Madonna.
No, neither of them.
Okay.
Yet. Say yet.
Okay, right. So Madonna is playing peak Madonna at this point in time. So they're going back to the 80s. There's two biopics, right? So in the Weird Al Yankovic movie, there is Madonna. Someone's playing Madonna. We're going to go down a Madonna rabbit hole now. Okay? If you've seen her NFTs, that's an expensive Madonna rabbit hole. This is the cheap one. This is the free one, okay? In this biopic, Madonna is being played by, I'm going to confuse the hell out of myself now. She's in Westworld.
It's
Rachel Wood. She's got a triple barrel name.
Evan Rachel Wood,
right? So you get a glimpse of her in the one trailer as like peak 1980s Madonna, Material Girl Madonna. Okay, so she's now playing one Madonna. Okay, in Weird Al Yankovic.
I can see that. There's a resemblance. I can see it.
There is, and costume-wise, it's easy to look like Madonna. An earring here and there, you look like Cyndi Lauper. So it's like you're in the same ballpark all the time, right? There's another Madonna biopic coming, right, where it's just about Madonna. So in this one, Madonna appears as in Weird Al Yankovic's story. Now there's one just about Madonna, right? Guess who's playing Madonna? I'll give you...
I know the answer to this.
You do know the answer.
I know the answer, but I can't think of her. Julia Garner, that's her name.
Ruth Langmore, that's it. Julia Garner.
Langmore from Ozark. And Anna from Inventing Anna.
Right, so whichever way you know her, okay, that is who is playing Madonna in the Madonna biopic. She's just been cast. There's no other details. But that's a lot of Madonnas. I feel that we're now in a multiverse of Madonnas, right? Because we've got real Madonna.
Multiverse, yes.
Yes. We've got real Madonna. We've got NFT tree vagina Madonna. We've got Westworld robot Evan Rachel Wood Madonna. And then we've got Ruth Langmore I Am Madonna. Right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of Madonnas.
That's too many Madonnas. It's just too many, yeah.
Are we ready for it?
Are we ever? Ready for anything Madonna does, ever.
God, you know, you just, in this multiverse of Madonnas, right? You just know that Madonna's sitting there going, you know what? There's a lot of Madonnas. I'll give them. They want to be Madonna, that's fine. But I'm going to Madonna the shit out of all of these Madonnas. I'm going to show you what it takes to play Madonna. It's going to be goddamn glorious.
Because imagine you're the actress playing Madonna. I mean, I'm sorry, Madonna, the real Madonna now, strikes me as somewhat scary, like if you don't do her justice, I'd be scared, actually, of like what she would say, what she would do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's not like a sweet person.
Madonna is showing up on set, uninvited, whether it's official, and like I really hope they're not, because with Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man, now obviously those are produced by the people, like Elton John produced Rocket Man and Queen produced Bohemian Rhapsody. So it's so sanitized, right?
Yeah.
I hope Madonna's biopic has nothing to do with Madonna, But like, would she actually give a shit? Like, would she like, oh, whatever? Madonna has literally nothing to hide.
She wants the attention. It doesn't have to be positive attention. She's always been okay with that, I think.
And I suppose that's like the thing about Madonna, because if you go through so many people, like whatever it was, like Freddie Mercury had his, I mean, and now what Freddie Mercury was doing is like, I mean, actually, it's fine. I mean, it's so culturally normal.
Same.
Yeah. It's so normal now, you know, but like back in the 80s, you can't do that. Same with Elton John. Michael Jackson's got his stories. Madonna, there's never been controversy about her other than what she's done. There are no secrets, there are no skeletons, because she just puts it all out there. So I suppose you got to go, well done, Madonna, actually.
She gets ahead of the scandal by creating the scandal.
Exactly. You got to admire that.
Yeah.
You got to admire that. What can we learn from McDonald's? Madonna? Why have they never tried that? McDonald's. Who did you have first?
What? A burger with a pointy bun?
You see, that's so far away from my Madonna reference anymore. Her NFTs ruined it for me. I don't even see if you missed it. Madonna's got NFTs because everyone's got an NFT, but her NFTs are her as this like virtual Madonna, and things grow out of her. Like it's all like very beautiful. It's like Mother of Earth. Like it's great. It's lovely, but it is weird. There's a worm coming. There's a worm, right? So
Caterpillars.
It's caterpillars are worms, aren't they?
I suppose.
Caterpillars are worms.
But they're pretty versions of worms. They're not like earthworms.
Yes. Okay. So it's pretty versions of worms. And so now that's what's in my mind. And then it's Madonna. Then she did like an Instagram shoot about a year ago where she was like stuck under the bed, like a lady her age would get stuck under the bed. You know, so I don't think of pointy-haired, pointy-boobed cone Madonna anymore, because she's like, there's been so much Madonna.
If somebody says the word Madonna to me, my first visual image is her in the Material Girl music video. In that like red Marilyn Monroe type thing.
Yes.
With the gloves, the jewelry. That's my first mental image of Madonna. Followed by her in the like a Virgin video, probably. Was she on a boat in Venice?
Yes.
In that video?
There was a lion. Yes, there was a lion in that one.
Her whole look there, which was the whole mesh shirt and crucifix and blonde hair and yeah.
Fun fact that I learned from pop-up video. Remember pop-up videos on MTV?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Fun fact. I mean, Madonna was on her Menzies at the time, and the lion wouldn't leave her alone. They were a bit scared.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. It was,
oh, dear.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So that was like a...
Bad timing, that.
Bad timing. Bad timing.
I loved the Pop-Up Don't Preach video, and that was when her look had completely changed, where suddenly her hair was short and like platinum blonde. And yeah, it was like a completely new look, and that song was really cool and interesting. And I remember watching that video a lot and really enjoying it. You know, I've never called myself a Madonna fan, but there's a lot of her songs that I really do like. Into the Groove is probably my favorite.
Her hairstyle in that, Ruth Langmore is going to kill that. Like if she, no one pulls off curly, like short, and imagine now Ruth Langmore is like swamp trash. So now you know, okay.
Poor Julia Garner, forever, like typecast as swamp trash.
Oh, but God, she made swamp trash look like, I was like, I want to be like that. Like no one says like the F word. And if you haven't watched the latest season, the C word, like let me tell you.
She owns that word. She owns it. It's amazing.
I am a prolific swearer. I love a swear. I grew up on Andrew Dice Clay. I have never, ever heard the C word said. Like she says it. So she owns it.
This is beautiful.
But yeah, the second I read that she's going to be Madonna, that's immediately the Papa Don't Preach like visual. Like that's it. I see that. The others I don't know. Like remember, was it in the 90s when she was voguing, when she had the high ponytail? That I don't know if I'm going to see.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but like you say, people may not be a Madonna fan, but you like Madonna. You know what I mean? You like her songs.
Yeah. She's got a lot of very pleasant songs. I don't think we've ever spoken about Madonna this much, except for when we spoke about the NFT.
We do it for the SEO. That's what you do it. We do it.
You are such an SEO whore. It's ridiculous.
That's what we do it. Voice search SEO. That's what we do it. Go, hey, Google, play me a podcast about Madonna. Hey, you may like this podcast from that 80s show. No, Google, never play that for me again. Right. So that 80s show. We got a lot of different stuff to talk about this week. So normally we bring you movie or TV show recommendations, but Dori and I are taking a bit of a different approach to it this week. I don't know what Dori's going to do. I didn't even know that. You see, this is how symbiotic Dori and I. We're like Venom, Dori and I. Is that we're like Mork and Mindy. We're like Cousin Larry Appleton and Balki Bartokomous. We're like Three's Company, except there's two of us before John Ritter came. Who came first in Three's Company? Who was living first together, now that I think about it? Let's find that out. We got to find that out. I don't remember. We got to find that because I think the girls were living first and John Ritter came. We got to find that out. Homework for next week.
Yeah, I think that's what I remember about it, I think.
Homework for next week.
Because he disrupted their space.
Yes. In the closet, John Ritter's character, I think he was. Mr. Furley definitely was. But John Ritter...
Not so much in the closet, Mr. Furley. Come on.
Well, for 80s television, he had to be. I think John Ritter had a lot of different feelings about things. That's why his character never found love. But we'll find that out. Anyway,
you digress.
Yes, that's who we're like, right? So we didn't even go, let's not do movies this week because we've got a lot of different stuff to talk about. We just both went, you know what, we're going to do a different approach to viewing recommendations this week, like without talking to each other. It's like Barrett.
So weird.
He's a savant, right? And he's new to our team. He just doesn't get us. We're like, but you guys, we don't know. But you guys, did you plan? No, we don't, because Barrett's got a plan. Barrett loves a plan. No, we don't plan. Here's what, how do you? Well, we don't. But what? We don't. So we just know. It just happens. So this is called padding. So Dori, what are the people watching this week? 80s related.
I have to give a tip of the hat to the latest TV series to give a tip of the hat to the 80s. I mean, we have spoken about Stranger Things a lot, and Stranger Things has definitely shown its love of the 80s from the start. But there is another series on Netflix that has done a beautiful tip of the hat to the 80s. And I won't give any spoilers, but I'm sure you have already watched it, Paulo. The latest season of The Umbrella Academy.
Oh my God. Oh my. This is what I'm talking about as well, right? So let's just...
Are you serious?
Collab it. This is one of the things I'm recommending.
Yeah.
Now, Umbrella Academy, if you've not watched it, it's a phenomenal superhero series on Netflix. It's based on like an independent comic. The guys from My Chemical Romance wrote it. You know the band My Chemical Romance?
Yes.
Yeah, they wrote the comic, and then they've now helped with the Netflix adaptation. It's great. Elliot Page is in it.
It is such a great show.
It's got the kid, the guy who plays number 5, it's so weird.
God.
He's fantastic. He's like owns the show. He's 17 years old. He like absolutely owns the show.
Do you know that when they started making Umbrella Academy, he was 14. He was cast when he was 13.
Yeah.
When they started filming, he was 14. Because I always just thought that he was one of these guys who looks young.
Yeah, no.
But he really is that young.
So he came out of a show that my daughter used to watch on Nickelodeon called Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Dawn. These four what do you call 4 triplets? Triplets plus 1.
Okay.
Quadruplets, right?
Yes.
And he was in that, right? And he was super funny in that, but he must have been like 10, 11 or so. So then I think he literally came right out of that into Umbrella Academy. So it's a superhero show. It's about this eccentric scientist who, and reveals what he is, but he basically finds these kids with superpowers, adopts them, and then trains them to be superheroes, right? So we're now, and all of them have weird powers. We're now in season 3 just started.
But I do want to just interject at this point because I don't love all the superheroes. Like I don't watch the Marvel movies. They too much for me. But this show just does it in such an amazing. It's so different. It's so dark.
Yeah.
It's so quirky. It's just done in a beautiful way.
There is a character, Klaus, who is, you want to talk scene stealer. His character, he sees dead people. Like that's what his superpower is, okay?
Well, one of them. No spoilers, but one of them.
One of them. But because of this, he's got like a lot of a substance abuse problems because he can't handle seeing dead people all the time. But every scene he's in is hilarious. Like you could make a compilation.
Now, Paulo, did you ever watch? It was also a superhero TV series called Misfits, but it was British.
Yes.
He was the actor. His name's Robert Sheehan. Yes. He's actually Irish.
Yes.
The actor who plays Klaus. He played Nathan in Misfits, And he was, it's a very similar character, actually. It's so funny.
You know, actually,
how it's a similar character. Their powers are similar. There's a lot of like crossover between the two shows.
You know, I watched it so long ago that I actually never pieced them together, but you're right. Actually, I should go back and watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So before you get into what you're going to talk about, right? So when the trailer for now I ruin it, Sparrow Academy, Umbrella Academy, it's season 3, there's now Sparrow Academy. It's all fake.
Yeah.
When the trailer for season 2 of Umbrella Academy came out, they launched it with Tiffany, I Think You're Alone Now. And it was a shot of each one of the different characters. The song starts playing on the radio. And now they all live in this mansion. And they all start dancing to the song. So the first one listens, hears it on the radio, turns it up, starts dancing. Now, every character now, as they hear it, they all start dancing. And this is cool zoom out where they show like kind of like a cut through of the mansion. And they're all now dancing to Tiffany, I Think You're Alone Now. That was the trailer for season 2. We're going to post that as well. As a reminder, that was awesome. So, wow, Umbrella Academy. Such a great nod to the 80s. Can you do even better? Fuck me, did they?
And they went, hold my beer. So I'm going to build up to the big scene, which I know is the one you're thinking of as well. But there's also, later on in the series, there's a little karaoke session where they sing. God, they start out by they're singing Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. And then they do this fantastic rendition of I've Had the Time of My Life from Dirty Dancing.
I mean, it is.
And it's beautiful.
And
it's beautiful.
It is outrageous. And just like the timing of where it is and like the point of the series, it is.
Yes.
It is. And they're all the characters are drunk. It's phenomenal.
Yes. As you have to be to do karaoke. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
But Paulo, we are here to discuss that other scene, which I think is in the first episode, if I'm not wrong.
It's within 5 minutes.
In the first episode.
It's you go to Netflix, Umbrella Academy, season 3, episode 1. Start it within 5 minutes.
Yeah, so if you haven't yet watched this, I'm sorry, you're too late. Like, we're going to talk about it because you should have already finished, but it's fine. You should have at least watched episode 1 by now.
It's now a cross point. It's a lot of time travel, multiverses. It's one of those shows, right? As every superhero show is. The Umbrella Academy now arrive back in what they think is their time, and there's now a Sparrow Academy. So like evil versions of themselves, effectively. And one of them, I won't give that much away, but there's a tense standoff, and the two muscle guys whose power is super strength, now they stand up to each other, and they're like, well, we're going to sort this out in the only way we know how. Kick in.
Right.
I don't even know where they kick in Kenny Loggins' Footloose, and a Footloose dance-off better than any dance-off you saw in the original Footloose. Definitely better than any dance-off you saw in Footloose fucking the remake. But my God. One of the best dance-offs ever captured on television.
It's so beautiful.
Each character goes in, and it's long. It is long. Okay. Each character takes a point and they dance off against their counterpart, but it's fight dancing. Kevin Bacon, like Kevin Bacon just got 30 years younger. Just this is how powered he was by this. And
as a viewer, you're going, what's happening? Because it doesn't make sense at all. Then I won't give away the spoiler. It does make sense, but the point is it doesn't matter. Because just the fact that it happened is so amazing.
Do you know that I had obviously I rewatched it because it's awesome, but I missed the whole thing about, because actually Umbrella Academy is such a bonkers show that for them to do a dance off, it seems quite right.
Wasn't out of the ordinary for you.
It's such a mad show that I don't even know what it was. I maybe missed it. I looked away. Maybe it was one of the times I tried to copy the dances that I didn't see. I actually missed the little plot point as to why they were doing the dance off, right? I just thought,
right, okay.
Yeah, I actually missed that. It didn't quite click. Only like on my third or fourth viewing. And trust me, I was watching the dancing the whole time.
I'm sure you were.
You know what the funny thing is? As soon as I saw it, I was like, I got to find the video. I got to post it. You think you can find the video of it other than filming it off the screen, which we're going to do.
I know.
We're going to do.
I also was like, we need to put this on our Facebook page. We can't. You just have to get hold of it somehow.
You just have to get hold of it. But you know how we're going to get hold of it? I'm filming it off my TV and I'm posting it. that 80s show essay on Facebook. No. That's not piratism. That's not piratism. That's fanism. That's fanaticism.
How about you film it off the TV, but you also in frame copying the dance moves?
Oh, TikTok style.
Yes.
How about I give out my Netflix password and everyone can then go and watch it and then I'll change my password. Let's do that. Let's do that. See, always giving on that 80s show. So that's exactly what I was going to talk about this week as well. Go tips of the hat to the 80s. Because, listen, we know what's coming, right? We know that everyone has seen Kate Bush. They've seen Babushka. They've seen Running Up That Hill. We've thought, if Running Up That Hill can be big, does season 2 hold Babushka? Is Babushka going to be the big song in season or part 2, season 7, whatever the hell they're doing it?
No.
Right?
No.
Okay.
No, it won't.
It's going to happen.
I'm telling you now. You got to let Babushka go.
We are going to see a flood of TV shows using 80s songs, right? Now, there's a whole bunch right now.
And all those 80s artists who are sitting there with no money right now going, pick me, pick me.
Wait for that 80s show to phone me for an interview. Guess who's busy? Got a time for you. It's real publications want to talk to me. so off that as well. So that's what's coming, but it already happens. Okay, so it's a whole bunch happen at the same time. There is another series spoken about called Physical. This is now on Apple TV. I have way too many streaming subscriptions. This is now on Apple TV. It stars Rose Byrne, and it's all about, set in the 80s, and it's supposed to be about the fitness explosion boom. I got to be honest, it's lost its way a little bit. I don't quite know what it's trying to do. I feel like every week it's the same episode. So I don't know if you've started watching it. Yeah, it's.
No, I don't have Apple TV, so I have not watched it.
It started off as a very cool premise, and you know me. 30 minutes set in the 80s, I'm watching it. Like, I don't, that's I'm done. I don't even want to know about it. So, and then you got Rose Byrne in a leotard. I mean, like, with massive 80s hair. My God, forget about that. Her massive 80s hair is like, I'm so much in love. You look like, set 2, like Revlon set 2. I'm all about that. But anyway, the show is and they're not using as many 80s songs as they were. Except for the one episode, a recent episode ends, and it ends so beautifully with Thompson Twins' Hold Me Now. But love that song. And it's used in such a beautiful part of the show. And I was like, it actually inspired me last week. Last week we played Thompson Twins. I was like, I got to play it.
We did. So that's something to look for. It's the latest season of Physical. I think it's, I don't know, second or third season. I think it'll be second. It feels like it's the 9th. It's really dragging. But it's the, So it's the end of the last week's episode because Apple TV releases every week. That's a nice 80s nod. Another 80s nod that pops up. Now, I know you don't watch superhero stuff. I was watching, there's a series called Moon Knight on Disney Plus. Again, I've heard about it. Right. I don't know it, but I've heard about it.
No, it's not good. It's not good. In the first episode, halfway through, he is trying to get away. It's a whole thing. People possess his body. There's other characters take over his body. There's a whole thing. He steals an ice cream van to get away from the villains. And in the ice cream van is playing Wham, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. Right?
Cool.
So cool. The super camp ice cream van in Italy. And as he turns on the car, it plays. And then this chase scene ensues in these windy mountain paths with like agents and guys in black sunglasses and really big action scene, but set to Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. It's poetic.
That sounds like something from Deadpool.
It's so cool. It's very Deadpoolish. It's very Deadpoolish. Wham, wham. Very Deadpoolish. That's why Ryan Reynolds and I will be best friends. When we meet, we're the same. We're the same person, best friends forever. So now we've gone Umbrella Academy, Footloose, love it. Physical, Thompson Twins, love it. Wham, Wake Me Up Before You Go, Moon Knight, love it. I've got 2 more 80s things for you to check out this week, okay? Not TV shows. They are on our Facebook page, that 80 Show essay. Posted it earlier this week. Obviously, Glastonbury, big thing this week. Big thing, everyone talking about Glastonbury. The performance by Pet Shop Boys at Glastonbury this year is as good as anything I've ever seen from Pet Shop Boys. There is no expiry date.
You know what I'm going to say next, right? You know what I'm going to say.
Dori, tell the story. Tell the story.
Best live concert I've ever been to. Honestly, like ever. And that was a few years ago.
And you saw it twice, right?
I did. I commuted across the country to see them twice. So I saw them once in Joburg, and then I drove down to Durban to watch them in Durban because they were only doing 2 shows in South Africa. And those were the 2 shows.
And you saw both.
And I was like, I need to see both because it was that amazing.
The only thing that would make that even more amazing is if you went to a Pet Shop Boys and drove from Joburg to Durban. If you're not in South Africa, that's about a 5-hour drive. In the van from Dumb and Dumber, the dog van, with the dog ears and the tail. that would have made
it weird.
That would have made that better. Of course, everyone's talking about Paul McCartney. I mean, Paul McCartney, headliner, brings Dave Grohl on stage, Bruce Springsteen on stage. I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, that's everyone else is talking about that. And then there's also such a beautiful performance. I'd love to be there. You get an age, you don't want to be out at night. You don't want to be at concerts at night. It must be a daytime concert. Glastonbury, seems too dirty for me. Oh, no, there's crowds.
Oh, God, no. Way too old for that.
Yeah. I see too much of that. I was like, I'll watch the video. Thank you very much. Is there a VIP? Where's the VIP? Like, I don't want to be part of this now, right? There was a stage, not now. But what fits perfectly for me is Crowded House doing Don't Dream It's Over. It's not acoustically, but just a very pared down version of it. Sun rising in the back, beautiful lawns, nice mature.
Sun rising or sun setting?
Sun. The sun's there. The sun is
doing. The sun is moving.
The sun is present. It's around. A beautiful, mature crowd who are drunk, but behaving themselves. Very much my concert style crowd. And again, singing it as well as I've ever heard them sing it.
But I can't actually ever hear that song without getting emotional. That song always makes me emotional.
It gets you.
So,
Always gets you. So those are...
Did you watch the final Crowded House concert they did at, I think it was that they did it at Sydney Opera House.
Oh, my God.
When they did their final show.
Well, evidently not. But no, I didn't.
Oh, dude.
Really?
Dude, try to get hold of that. It's so amazing.
Hometown stuff. Okay, so that's 5 nods, 80s nods. What hats did we wear in the 80s? We wore those like little caps with the short peaks.
Yeah, I had although there was more 90s, I had like a leather kind of, it was pleather. It wasn't leather, like a pleather cap.
Was it the one that had the metal buoy thing on the front? Remember those?
No,
those 90s?
No, not really.
What caps were we wearing in the 80s? Anyway, if you're wearing whatever cap we were in the 80s, this is an 80s hat, cap, tip thing. Okay. Umbrella Academy, Physical, Moon Knight. And then on our Facebook page, that 80 Show essay, the Glastonbury performances of Crowded House and Pet Shop Boys. Welcome back to that 80 Show. If you thought we spoke a lot about Madonna, we have a lot of George Michael news coming up to wrap up the show. So much George Michael
news. Well, it was his birthday recently, so of course we've got news.
It was his birthday, and of course it was the release of his documentary film. You know what the horrible thing about this is that all the people who want to make money off George Michael's name, they all come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Kenny Goss, lover of an ex-lover, which I don't know. I think Kenny Goss, because who is that? Kenny Goss goes, oh, it was a secret love affair no one knew about. George Michael didn't know about it, Kenny. It was in your head. You imagined the whole thing.
No, I think they were official for a while.
Okay, so...
Aren't there photos of them together and stuff?
No, they are photos. Come on. Okay, well, you give it... Are you a fan of Kenny Goss? Because Kenny Goss is very does not miss an opportunity to talk about him and George Michael's relationship, and it always ends up with Kenny Goss needing money.
Yeah, it's become icky.
It is
very icky.
So Kenny Goss has been all over the place, and I don't think we should give Kenny Goss the time of day, right? Oh my God, Dori, good grief, Jesus, what the hell? Breaking news, stop die horlosie, hold my beachies. What did I just do? I'm so shocked at what I've just seen. I've got to cover this right now. So,
okay,
I want to read you a story.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I want to read you a story about George Michael, right? So I click on the link where the story is. It's on Broadway.com, okay? A pop-up, MacGyver the musical.
No!
What? I'm clicking on this. So we know there's a Back to the Future musical. There is apparently a MacGyver musical right now. Okay, wait, I got to... Have you ever dreamt of being on an official cast recording of a musical? How about one with Broadway people? I don't know. Or imagine yourself as MacGyver. Now's your chance to take a shot at doing all of those. After a very successful run of MacGyver the musical earlier this year, there is a MacGyver the musical. Why have we not seen this?
Is it happening, or is it just in production?
It's happened. It's happened. So I'm scanning this. So what they're doing is now they're making an album of all the songs from the musical. But there is being a MacGyver the musical. Oh my God. There's a MacGyver in everyone, and anyone can be a MacGyver.
Sure, in the 80s, I really wanted a MacGyver in me, but let's move on.
Oh, wow.
I should rephrase that because I was quite young in the 80s.
Wow. Oh my God. I'm as red as MacGyver's Swiss Army knife now. Good God, Dori. I don't know how one comes back from that. Oh. Well, okay. We'll be finding out more about MacGyver the musical for you. Mm-hmm. We'll delve into that. Why I ended up on Broadway.com is that Apple Music this week was Pride. I think that's also why there's a lot of
Pride Month.
Yes, Pride Month. There's a lot of George Michael news coming out, and Apple Music have put out a special playlist to coincide with Pride Month. George Michael covered. So they have got a whole lot of artists who I don't know who they are singing George Michael's songs. So we're going to go find that, and we're going to post the link to that if you have Apple Music on that 80 Show SA Facebook page. But Dori, you have a story. You were sending me messages over the weekend of you got to tell the story. You got to tell what you and I saw.
Okay. I have a friend who lives in the UK. His name's Richard. He listens to the show. Hi, Richard. And
Richie Poo, as you call him on your WhatsApp.
I call him Richie Poo, yes. I call him Richie Poo. But his real name's not Richie Poo. Anyway, he was sending me messages over the weekend on WhatsApp and some photos as well. And I was like, oh my God, I have to send these to Paulo because they are just so weird and yet so wonderful at the time. So apparently every year on George Michael's birthday, there is a celebration in a place called Hampstead Heath. I don't know if you've heard of Hampstead Heath.
Yes.
It's like this very large, foresty, parky, green area in England. Okay.
Yes.
He sent me a message that said, so today is George Michael's birthday. Every year on Hampstead Heath, there is a celebration. Reception here in the deepest, darkest woods of Hampstead Heath is terrible, so I don't know how long these messages are taking to get through. There are performers and activities. We've just had some naked oil wrestling. And then he sent the photos. And the photos, we can't share them because there are naked people in the photos. Like, we can't. There are some photos that are not too risque, where it's a bunch of very hippie-ish looking people sitting around in what looks like literally your typical English forest. You'd imagine elves coming out from behind the trees. It's very, enchanted forest vibe. Lots of rainbow flags, trans flags,
yes.
LGBTQI, big like celebration kind of thing. And apparently that is kind of what has happened with this celebration of George Michael's birthday, is that, and he says, it's more of a celebration of queer culture in general. It's held in a well-known cruising spot that George Michael would have known, he says. Right?
Wow, that is spurious, but I'll take it.
And then there's a photo of naked people who look like they're about to wrestle in oil. It's just so weird and bizarre. But at the same time, I'm like, that must have been lots of fun.
And what a tribute to George Michael. Oil wrestling in his favorite cruising spot in the woods. I mean, like, it's like I actually have a tear in my eye. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's so poetic. So that's in-field reporters of that 80s show.
Yes, thanks to our field reporter, Richard, in the UK. Thank you, Richard.
AKA Richie Poo. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. It was phenomenal. I got to say, the kind of people who want to like oil wrestle naked in the woods, like you don't want to see them. But there were some nice bums there. There was definitely a nice bum. So it was,
not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad. So definitely a spectator sport. More Wham and George Michael news is that there are 3 new songs, George Michael songs that they're releasing soon. These are unreleased, so obviously they laid them down, they're unreleased, and there were 4 tracks, they're only going to release 3, so there's new George Michael music coming. You are going to hear it here, let's be honest with that. We count down the days.
You will hear it here, for sure.
And it's not just George Michael, Andrew Ridgeley has been keeping himself busy. Guess what's happening? Netflix and Wham. There is a Wham documentary coming to Netflix. Produced by Andrew Ridgeley.
Oh, I can't wait.
He's working on it. Special film. It is coming. They've started working on no dates. But you know what? I'll share my Netflix password when it comes out. So just so you can watch it. The funniest thing about this, right, is on this article, I got a smoothradio.com. It's got one of those things where you can listen to the article, right? You click on it and it listens to you. I just want to play you a little bit because it's actually quite funny the way it talks.
Okay.
Andrew Ridgeley is working on a new Wham and George Michael documentary for Netflix, Smooth. A new Wham documentary will be coming to Netflix in the near future. Wham star Andrew Ridgeley is working alongside Netflix to make the special film, which will look back at the legendary pop duo.
This is because it has an exclamation mark, so it reads it as the end of the sentence.
Exactly. It's so confused. That man is so confused. Poor little AI bot.
Poor confused robot.
Poor confused robot. And you know what's good news for Andrew Ridgeley? Great news for him. We know he had a long relationship with Karen Woodward.
Karen,
you're right. Karen Woodward from Bananarama.
Karen, yes.
And they broke up, devastated, but he's found love again. The one trashy tabloid I saw that said the headline was, "Baby, I'm your man." I did appreciate that. He has found love with a former model who has the longest legs in Belgravia. Who measures that?
Okay. Only Belgravia? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, how do her legs stack up? I mean, is that impressive? Is it not? Are people tall? Do they have long legs? Are they only legs? Are they... their feet are on their bottom? I don't know. But anyway, that's she's a lot more impressive than that. It's like a very powerful lady. I mean, of course, the tabloids are going to stick on the fact that she's got long legs. You know, it's UK tabloids. What you going to do? Because the last we saw Andrew Ridgeley, he was cycling through Spain, raising money. Andrew Ridgeley in a skin tight leotard. Can't say we don't want to see that. Let's be honest. We've always, it's been a bit of a dream.
But now you haven't even given the woman's name who Andrew Ridgeley's dating. Her name is Amanda Cronin.
Okay, sorry, Dori. Jesus, okay, I'm not woke.
She's not only a pair of legs, Paulo.
Well, she's a person. That's what the tabloids wanted me to believe. I honestly, I only see Andrew Ridgeley in the photo because this is the most dapper man in the history of the world. Like, I think he bathes in a suit and not a bathing suit. Like, he's always in a suit. Even when he cycled, he had a tie, he had a cravat. I mean, so it's not because
very dapper.
Very dapper. He speaks like a woodland creature from an Enid Blyton book. It's not that I want to dismiss her. It's just like he is like bright lights. So he just dominates my consciousness.
She's a very pretty girl. I mean, I'm looking at her Instagram.
Yeah.
She's not an ugly person. She does look like she's had some work done.
Oh, Dori, who hasn't in these days?
Yeah, she's not the youngest person, so
no, but it's also good. It's like at least he's not running around with 20-year-olds. He knows I'm married originally. I'm a gentleman. I'm going to be knighted eventually. Like we all know it's going to happen. And he's working on a Netflix documentary, new George Michael music coming up. Like he loves George Michael. So who are we? Who are we? And we wish him love, and we wish him to come onto our show.
So happy, and one day we will speak to him in person.
And then we end the show.
And wish him love.
And then we end the show. Then that's kind of like, no, we end the show. This is Nirvana. We're done. Okay, it's over. So this has been that 80s show, a little bit of a different flavor. A lot of chat by Dori and I today.
A lot of Madonna chat.
Honestly, in 12 years, 10 to 12 years of doing the show, I have never heard Dori say something like her MacGyver comment. I will listen back to that.
I'm just honest.
No, it's true. I mean, it's true. Richard Dean Anderson, we all had the poster. For different reasons. He was on everyone's wall. You wanted to be him. Too much. Thanks for joining us. That 80 show is every Friday on Cliff Central. You can get the podcast, That 80 Show Essay, on any podcast player. Plus That 80 Show Essay on YouTube. You will find it there. And mixcloud.com, That 80 Show Essay with the music. The music from the 80s, everything you've spoken about on the show, you'll find it on That 80 Show Essay on Facebook. And maybe we'll do an Instagram this week. I don't know. I don't know where my Instagram is. It's not on my phone. I don't know. Dori, I mean, like so much. Did you learn anything this week? Anything to take away with you into the new week?
I learned a few things. I didn't know that Evan Rachel Wood was playing Madonna, so that was like an actual thing I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't know that Andrew Ridgeley had a new girlfriend.
Oh, that's what we bring you.
I learned lots of stuff this week.
It was a very informative show. And I also learned not to leave you alone with a poster of Richard Dean Anderson and a Swiss Army knife. Thanks for joining me, Dori. Goodbye.
Bye.